Hello and welcome to my second tip video for Football Manager 2017. And in this video we go to the MLS in America. It's similar to the first video of the A-League in Australia. It's tips for the squad and registration. So without further ado, let's get into the video. As you can see here, we are on the MLS squad registration page, which, if you don't know where that is, go on your squad, players and registration, and here comes some of the rules. So the first one's pretty simple, a maximum of 28 players. Again, you can sign a free agent and put him in your team at any time if you do leave the space. A designated player, now in the MLS you are allowed 3. This does not count towards the salary cap. As you can see, we'll find that'll be one of them. No, that's senior. So the reserves. So he's a designated player, international player, which is basically you're allowed 3 and they're only allowed to be international. As we'll quickly go on to the other screen. This is the other screen for the rules. As you can see, you're only allowed a maximum of 8 international players. So you can't have the team full of internationals. That's why it was a designated player international contract. A maximum of 2 non-young designated players in a squad. So out of your 3 designated players, 2 of them can be anyone, and the other designated player will have to be a young designated player, which is under 21 or under 23, sorry. Well, it could be, yeah, 21 to 23. I think they are young designated players. Anyone below 23 is a young designated player. We'll move on to that in a minute. You're allowed 8 off-budget players, which means you're allowed players of the senior minimum wage. They will count as off-budget players, as well as loans if you're not paying the wages. Maximum of 6 reserve players, so you're only allowed 6 in your reserves. These count as the off-budget players. And the next one, a maximum of 25 non-Canadian players in your squad, valid for Canadian-based teams only. Well, basically, you're only allowed a maximum of 25 non-Canadian players out of a 28 possibility if you are a Canadian team. Maximum salary, squad salary of 54,000. Now, this is where the MLS gets a bit tricky, because the designated player, it does count to your salary cap, but not all of it. As you can see here on the salary cap, a designated player who are at least 24 years old during the calendar year only count to 7,000 towards the salary cap regarding the total wage, as the maximum wage a senior player can earn. So if you're offering him 10,000 a week, only 7,000 of that will go to the salary cap. A designated player who is at least 24 years old and only signs from the mid-season and onwards, that will count as £3,500 per week to your salary cap. So if you have 2 designated players and You have to start with one, sorry, and they are 25 years old. You will pay them £10,000. You think you would only have 44,000 left in your wage per week on a salary cap. You do not. You will have 47,000. That goes if you have another designated player in at the time, or if you buy one in through the midway through the season, then obviously 3.5 of his wage will count for the rest of the season. A young designated player who are 21 or 20 to 23 years old during the calendar year can only count to 3,000. So you could be paying, I don't know, for example, let's find a young player. Maybe Rashford, and you could be paying him 50,000. Only 3,000 would go towards the salary cap, because that's how much the earnings are. The young designated player who is 20 or younger during the calendar year only counts to £2,200 per week towards the cap, regardless of their wage. So you could be offering them £5,000 if they're a decent under 20 player, and you won't have to worry about the total wage for the salary cap, as it only counts to 2.2. Now squad registration now is maximum of 28 players have been gone through to be registered by Tuesday the 1st of March 2016. That basically you have to apply your roster, which is your team. If you do not register them, they will leave by mutual consent, and they will go into the waiver. Basically, this waiver is players that do not make it into the team, they are left out, and you can then, on, as you can see, roster guarantee date the 30th of June, you actually go to a screen where players have been released from the club, and see if we can find it here. Here we go. The waiver, March waiver draft. So they get put into the draft, and if another team wants them, they can get them for free. You get to see other players as such. So basically, it gives all the teams a chance to sign a couple of extra players if they think they are good enough to play for the team. So you got one in March, one in December. Oh, sorry, for an expansion draft in December, and a waiver draft, March waiver draft, and a re-entry draft. So the transfer rules are here. Teams cannot sign more than 6 players as a discovery signing in one season. As you can see here, a discovery signing is a player signed from a non-MLS club or a free agent player signed outside of a draft. So you can't go and buy a brand new team from a different league. Teams which have just joined the MLS cannot sign more than 10 discovery players in one season, which that is Atlanta, and I'm not too sure the other one, but there's 2 teams that do not enter till 2017. So we've gone through the salary cap. Here we go. Young designated players signed from 2.2 thousand a week. Clubs will not have to buy the designated player roster slot to accommodate a young designated player. Players on Generation Adidas or reserve contracts do not count towards the salary cap and will count as an off budget player. As I mentioned earlier, players with senior minimum salary or homegrown status can be registered as off-budget players, therefore have no salary cap impact. For homegrown players in the MLS, allow a total of 3,700 per week to be cap exempt. However, if a homegrown player is making senior minimum or reserve salary, then they can fall into the category instead and will be excluded from the homegrown budget. So that's pretty simple. There you have a certain amount of off-budget players and your reserves count to that. Homegrown players do count to that, but only to a certain amount, total of 3,700. So that's the salary cap done, and we've gone through the transfer rules here. Only players as a senior and senior minimum salary contract can count as discovery players. So you can't get a youth player as a discovery player, it doesn't count. So apart from that, I think we've got through most of the rules. There is another one quickly here. After this date, all MLS players will be guaranteed contracts for the season regardless of how long they spend. So you can't, if you get rid of someone, you can't just get rid of them like that. Here, after the date of the player contract will be considered guaranteed if the player turns 24 during the calendar year and has spent 3 years complete seasons in the MLS. So I hope this video has helped you out, guys. Please smash the like button if it has. If you want to see any more tips from myself or any more guides through leagues, please let me know in the comments and I'll bring you that video. So again, thank you for watching. Smash the like button and I hope this helped you if you're watching it. Thank you very much and bye bye.